Hey friends, how are you? So I had some really great questions recently about like how do I really use this container system and what are some of my favorite shake recipes and so on. So I thought what I would do is I would just shoot a little video. I was getting ready to make my shake. As you can see, I actually just finished my workout. And so I thought, you know what, I'm making my shake. Why not actually just share with you exactly how to go about that? So for me right now, I am using a program that's called 80-Day Obsession. And so there's a lot of timed nutrition that actually governs that program. So this tracker sheet is basically you're able to download this from any of the programs that you're using. If you go to Beachbody On Demand where you get your workouts, there is a tab that says resources or materials, and that's where things like this are. Now every program has a little bit of a different thought process. So 21 Day Fix, there is potential or optional menu planners in there, and there's food lists and how to use the containers for that program. And this one is specific to 80-Day Obsession because that's the program I'm working on right now. And so I just finished my workout. Like I said, this one is more of a timed nutrition thought process. So this actually shows me exactly what I should be having for my meal after my workout. You guys can see I plan everything out. And so it says I get a green, and this is figured based on your macros. And so that calorie count and macro count is actually derived by your weight. So I can talk you through that in just a moment. But it says I get one green, one red, one yellow, a teaspoon, and also a purple. So that means I get a fruit, I get a vegetable, I get a protein, I get a carbohydrate, and I get a teaspoon. And I'm gonna use a healthy fat for that today. So that would be like coconut oil, nut butters, things like that. So first question is, how do I know how many containers I get? When you get the Portion Fix nutrition plan, you get this book that looks like this, or you can actually download the app if you are a person that likes to have a little bit more digital technology at your fingertips. So that's an option too. Beachbody has a nutrition app where you can do the same thing. And what you do is if you use this book, it takes you through step by step so that you know how to calculate what you're looking for. So in other words, it asks you some questions about what type of lifestyle you have. Is it sedentary? Is it super active? What program are you doing? And then there is a calculation that you go through that uses your current weight, gives you your target weight, and then, gives you your target macro count. And what that does is then puts you into plan like A, B, C, and so on. So I fall in my 80-Day Obsession and also in this Fix 8 and Plan B. And so it tells me every single day how many of each container I get. And so then my encouragement to you is, and this is something that I really learned more with 80-Day Obsession, but my encouragement to you is then plan out how you'd like to use those containers. And some of you that are in challenge groups with me, you know that we have an option, a PDF option where I've given you some ideas on how to maybe think about doing your meal planning. So definitely do that, because then that way you are being really intentional about how you're using your containers for the day, and it's just so much easier, and the risk of over using your containers or underusing your containers, which is just as bad, is a little bit less likely to happen. So moving on, I'd said for my shake, it's my post-workout, I got a teaspoon. And so what I did is there's a conversion where if you use 4 to 6 ounces of unsweetened almond milk, you can use that as a teaspoon. So what I did, because I want to use a little bit of coconut oil, I actually only used about 3 ounces. And then there's actually coffee in here because I'm feeling a little draggy today. So then I'm kind of like craving a latte. So I'm putting a little coffee in there. And then the rest of the liquid, I actually will just add water. And then for my red, I've got my cafe latte Shakeology. So that goes in. For my green, I've measured out my spinach in my green container. Now the reason I know that the Shakeology and that conversion for the almond milk, the reason I know that is also in this book and on the app. Like I said, if you're more of a techie person, what you do is you take a look at the container lists here, and it tells you what goes into that container. And so that was a blue. So if I look at, for example, a red, Shakeology is actually, 1 packet of Shakeology equals a red. It talks to you about how eggs, 2 large eggs equals a red, or 8 large egg whites. So you can actually be really intentional with your conversions that way too, for the things that are kind of hard to fit in the container. So that's how you know that. 1/2 of a yellow container of dry oats equals 1 full yellow of cooked oats. So I've got that. The conversion information also talks about in the book or on the app that 1/2 of a banana equals a purple. So there's a half. I like mine frozen. So I've got that. Since I used a small amount of the almond milk, I actually am going to use just, oh, you can't even see it. I'm going to use a really, really small amount of coconut oil, not a full teaspoon, because remember I told you I already used a little almond milk. So the reason I'm doing that is because I like to use a vitamin D3K liquid, and this actually gets absorbed into your body a little bit better whenever you have a fat available, because vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin. So there's that. I like to use a little digestive health, a little digestive boost. It's got omegas in it. It's got an excellent source of fiber, helps with cholesterol, helps with the tummy. So I love that. That doesn't count as anything, so you're fine with that. And then I will add some ice and some water and then blend in my NutriBullet and enjoy. So hopefully that was helpful for you. If it was, give me a shout out and let me know, and I would be happy to share how I plan some of my other meals throughout the day using the container system. Have an awesome day, folks. I'll see you soon.